All right, welcome back. What's up, guys? Had some technical difficulties, but I want to welcome you back to the Enlightenment broadcast here on Facebook and IG. What are we talking about? Today, we're talking about seeing past the problem in front of you. And I want to start with a question. You know what? Before I ask this question, I want you to do something. You got to go to thehealthyaccountant.com. And what are you going to get when you get there? You're going to get information. Look, information is the start. It's not the be all, the end all. It is the start. You need information, you need knowledge, and then you need to apply. So I've got some information that you can use and apply, 3 principles to help you grow your business or your life. Don't be afraid when you get there, because of what the page says. But it's definitely going to help you out. So guys, thank you so much for joining. And so I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to answer this because this is going to help you to be able to deal with what could be happening in your life right now. What do you do when you have a problem? How do you approach the problem? So I want you to think about it. Then, now, as we're thinking about what we do when we have problems, the other question I'd have for you is, do you focus on the problem or do you focus on what could help solve the problem? So many of us, I'm talking about everybody has been victim to this method, focusing on the problem, which tends to not bring the results that we want. Focus on the problem just brings more of the problem. I can look back over my lifetime and I can see that, man, when I was having a problem, I may have been looking at the wrong things. I wasn't thinking about solving them. Wasn't Not that you weren't not that I wasn't thinking about it, but it was almost like it was easier. It was easier to focus in on what the problem is. It's like, you have financial problems and, you're constantly checking your bank account like something went in. Now, you could be expecting something, but for the most part, if we're just checking the account, knowing nothing's going in, getting that feeling in your stomach when you're just like, oh my goodness, I'm hoping this thing doesn't hit and make my account go negative. That's happened to so many people. Or, it's like, man, I'm overweight and I shouldn't eat this, but I'm gonna just go ahead and eat it because I might as well do it. I like it. That's focusing on the problem, right? Then it's like, your relationship, you're having some friction with your spouse. And every time you get to that point where you could almost like swallow that comment that you want to make, you make the comment, and then just as you thought it would be, you got exactly what you thought you would, which was an argument from your spouse or your significant other. There's so many things that we do. It's like, um look, man, I love, I'm talking about, I love my family. I love my church family. I love my friends. And it's nothing like seeing people focus on a problem. It's nothing like seeing people not choosing the path of, the path that's least traveled. Most people won't choose that path. I was sharing that with, was I sharing it with? Maybe yesterday I may have been sharing it with some friends, and I was just like, hey man, if you see everybody doing something, that's a clue. That is a clue to life. That if everyone's doing it, not that everything that everyone's doing is bad, I just need to think about whether or not I should do it and focus on something else. It's funny because, I have to get on Facebook and Instagram every day just to upload videos. And, sometimes I'll see things. I try not to scroll. I'm not saying I don't ever scroll because that would be a lie, but I wouldn't do that. But you know what? The first thing I saw this morning when I went to IG was, and Facebook, it was on both pages. I guess there's a challenge going on. What do you look like on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram? Not that these things are bad, Tinder, not that it's bad. Nothing wrong with doing it. I said, man, everyone's doing that. I got friends over here. I got, people that I may be following on this thing. Everyone's doing it. It's like, man, I guess that's what socializing is all about, right? I said, man, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's what I want to stop. I'm not sure if that's what I want to do, you know? And so I ain't calling nobody out. I just thought that it was interesting that, the ice bucket challenge, like all sorts of things. Now, that one started out as something good. You have Bill Gates doing it, right? These are, prominent people. But I guarantee if you went to Bill Gates is never on Facebook. He's never there. That dude is always doing something. So the fact that he did it once is something, might have been something monumental. But at the end of the day, guys, what do you do when you have a problem? So what I've learned and what I've had to start doing is when there's a problem, I just have to stop. I have to stop doing everything. And and even if I don't have an answer, you just got to stop. And this is challenging because what if you kind of got things to do? Then you got to put it in perspective. What is most important is if this problem is going to enhance my life, or if this problem is so bad I could lose a family, or this problem is so bad I can, if I don't get my finances really together, like what I'm saying, like I have to really put into perspective what this problem is and the reward that would come by solving it. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I've had I've had some days in my life where you just kind of like chill. I'm reading books half the day. Last week actually I did something. I almost read 2 books in a week, and that was a goal last year to read 2 books a week. And so last week I finished the equivalent of a whole book, and I'm almost like but I'm reading 2 books simultaneous. So I finished. I've read over probably almost 300 pages, and I have maybe about 200 more pages to read, which I'll probably finish them today because I got to get to other things. When I read books, more so to focus my mind, keep my mind sharp so that when it's time to use my mind, like I'm on it, I'm ready, you know. So you got to have a system for yourself that when the problem shows up, when it shows up, you're going to do something that will push you to solving it and not to focusing on it. You got to have a system to do this. And you could use mine, whereas all I say is stop. Stop doing everything. Go into a room and just sit there. No one's in there, no phone, no tech, nothing. You're just in a room by yourself. I'm not telling you to go in there to pray. I'm telling you to go get silent, meditate. If you probably don't know how to meditate. That's not easy because you got to quiet your mind. You actually got to get your mind into the point where all you can do is almost focusing on one thing, which is if I want to solve this problem, I need to spend time just thinking about one thing. That's how you can solve a problem. Now, what happens is you're going to get some ideas, and those ideas are going to come, and then you have to figure out if and how you're going to move, because you're going to get a lot of things that's going to come through. And so you've got to be in a good place that you can understand. Sometimes I would even say just write down, come out of that and write down what you have and keep writing things down. And then after a few days, maybe even a week, depending on how fast you need to solve your problem. But at the end of the day, you got to stop. So if you stop and think, can't listen at that point, you got to stop and think because the answer is inside you. Find the answer that's already there. It's there and it's waiting to come out of you. Don't let that problem consume you so that you can't do what you're supposed to do. All right, guys. So you got problems this week. Let's get them solved. Stay with me all week. This is the last week of January. We are going to push hard to solve some big problems this week. Bring your problems, man. Put them in the comments. Let me know what you're tackling this week. I'd love to help you out just by giving you a word right here on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube if you're watching it there. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm Jay Moore, your healthy accountant, helping you to account for your life. God bless you, and I'll see you soon. Take care.